It's okay.
Awesome.
All
Cool.
right, cool guys. The writer's not gonna be here, but the script is kind of creepy. So it's October, so let's have some fun with it. And room whenever you're ready.
Cool. All right. A Boy, a Family, and Some Keys by Jim F. Fade in, exterior street night. A shabby car uh, with windows down rumbles past the mini mansions of the upscale neighborhood, screeches to a stop. Interior, Johnny's car. Johnny, 18, an MTV fashion clone, smacks his stale bubblegum and takes a deep breath before he bends over, fumbles around the floor, and sifts through the stale trash and empty beer cans. He sits up with a full beer in his hand and cracks it open. Exterior house, a timeless, mysterious figure slides into the scene.
Parked in front of her home, his nerves grew rather tight, so he grabbed a few beers and drank with all his might. Chug, 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 down with one, two, three. They had to go down fast, for it was 7:33. 3 minutes past the time. He should have been at her door, but the beers looked so lonely, rolling around on the floor. Frosty courage in a can. He just couldn't wait to take a sip of the potion that would tempt the hands of fate.
The mysterious figure disappears, dissolved to interior house night. Quaint and cozy, this place belongs on the cover of Home and Garden magazine. Couches point toward a mantel covered by a plethora of family pictures. A coffee table only adds to the decor. Behind the couch, a busy back wall is home to the kitchen swing door, a closet, a glass table that proudly displays an antique lamp, and a nearby wet bar that with pristine bottles of alcohol and spotless crystal glasses. In the opposite corner, Mr. Johnson, late 40s, a modern-day Mr. Rogers, smokes his imported tobacco pipe and peruses chicken soup for the teenage soul until a knock on the door.
I think your date is here.
Can you stall for a few minutes, Daddy? Please?
Okay, anything for you, Buttercup.
Mr. Johnson moves to the front door and opens to find Johnny twirls his keys round and round his finger.
What's up? I'm Johnny.
Johnny slithers in, tosses keys on the coffee table.
Come in, I suppose.
Mr. Johnson shuts the door as Johnny slouches on the couch.
Thanks, Mr. Kelly's dad.
Mr. Johnson sits next to him.
Come now. You don't have to think of me as Dad.
How should I think of you?
Think of me as sort of godlike figure.
Not sure I believe in God.
Then just think of me as the guy controlling your fate.
Not sure I believe in fate.
You seem a bit different than what my little angel describes. Are you positive you're taking out my Kelly? Kelly Johnson?
That's her last name? I thought it started with like a P or an X.
Johnny kicks his feet up onto the coffee table.
I'm sure glad you told me before we rolled out of here tonight. Call me old-fashioned and all, but I think it's important to know a girl's last name before taking her out.
Mr. Johnson removes Johnny's feet from the table.
And where exactly are you taking my Buttercup?
Not a clue, man. I mean, thought I'd wait to hear what Kelly Johnson has to say.
Surprisingly smart man we have here. Never said anything until you spoken to a woman first.
Word to that, Big Chief.
Johnny blows a bubble and licks his parched lips as Mr. Johnson checks his watch. He's had enough.
Well, little chief, I'm off to check on Kelly.
Mr. Johnson rushes off as Johnny smacks his parched lips. A scan of the house leads him to the wet bar. He slides to the bar, shoves his gum underneath, pours himself a tall one, and prepares to drink as
What in the world are you doing?
Johnny flinches to find Mr. Johnson.
I don't know.
Darn right you don't know. You do not want Crown Royal.
I don't?
No way. That's for old people.
Mr. Johnson walks behind the bar.
Young man like you need to set the sail with my good friend Captain Morgan.
Pulls out a bottle of the Captain, pours 2 drinks.
You sure this is cool?
It's totally cool. Why?
I'm just a bit nervous about drinking with a dad. God, or whatever you want to be called.
Nonsense.
Mr. Johnson raises his glass and a toast.
To love and babies.
Excuse me?
Mr. Johnson chugs his drink down as Kelly, 18, a cover model for 17 magazine, elegantly saunters in. Johnny is in awe until Kelly stops, pulls out a silver flask, opens it, and commences chugging. Mrs. Johnson, late 40s, Martha Stewart before the jail time, smells blood as she enters in her cooking apron.
You must be Johnny. You're even more precious than Kelly said.
Come here, baby boy.
Kelly stumbles to the floor, spills the contents of her flask. Without missing a beat, she scrambles to back onto her heels, rushes up to Johnny, and gives him a sloppy kiss. Mr. Johnson hands Kelly a fresh glass of alcohol as his wife tilts into Johnny.
It's too bad you missed my birthday. You would have made a fantastic gift.
Yes?
Yes. Let me go put on my favorite.
Put on?
Of course. Lingerie doesn't wear itself, silly.
Mrs. Johnson exits as Mr. Johnson approaches Johnny with a full glass of Captain Morgan in hand.
Here, I topped you off.
No, I'm good.
May I recommend a Cuban with that?
Mr. Johnson exits as Kelly hugs Johnny. He retreats into the wet bar. Clink, crash, cling. The alcohol bottles rattle.
Are you hungry?
I'm confused.
Because I have some leftover brownies. You want some?
Can we just go?
They're made with our homegrown marijuana, just like Grandma used to. God rest her baked soul.
Kelly enters into the kitchen.
Johnny, I'm almost ready.
Johnny stares at the glass in hand for a beat.
Fuck this.
He chugs down the rest of his drink, slams it in the glass table, and sprints up the door. Dissolved 2. Interior Johnny's car continuous. Johnny frantically searches his car as splash. The sprinklers begin shooting water inside. Exterior house continuous. The mysterious figure reappears.
The mind of a mortal may think that we're through, but Johnny's forgotten something. There's much more to do. As he ran to his car, he sprinted with ease. He jumped in to go, but he forgot his keys. He searched every corner of his shirt and his pants. He racked his brain as if in a trance. Before he remembered, he left his keys on the table. Now it struggles to recapture them as the last of our fable.
The mysterious figure disappears. Dissolved 2. Interior house a few minutes later. Mr. Johnson enters with a Cuban cigar in hand. Kelly follows shortly after.
Where were you?
I thought we had some leftover brownies.
No, I killed them last night. I had the munchies.
Where's Johnny?
I thought he was with you.
You don't think he's with Mommy, do you?
God help him if he is.
Then what? Did he leave?
Kelly breaks down into tears as Mr. Johnson hugs her gently.
Why does this always happen to me?
There, Buttercup.
Mr. Johnson walks to the coffee table, picks up Johnny's keys.
He couldn't have gone too far.
Ready.
Dressed in lingerie, Mrs. Johnson saunters in.
Where's Johnny? I wanted to show him my new lingerie.
We don't know, but his keys are still here.
I'll keep them warm for him.
Mrs. Johnson takes the keys, places them in her bra as Johnny, soaked to the bone, reluctantly enters.
Speak of the devil.
You're soaking wet, baby boy. Is it raining outside?
I just wanted to get some air.
Johnny visually inspects the coffee table. Nothing.
Is something wrong?
Wrong? No. Just thought I left a pack of gum on the table.
Start with your car with gum. Sorry.
It's okay.
Huh?
Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, and Kelly burst into maniacal laughter.
You two will be staying for dinner, correct?
I made steamed oysters with a chocolate souffle for dessert.
Johnny circles the coffee table.
Well,
Terrific. I'll go check on the oysters.
Mrs. Johnson prances in the kitchen as Mr. Johnson steps to the front door and locks it.
You two should sit so we can get to know each other.
Johnny and Kelly sit on the couch. Mr. Johnson follows.
So, how did you meet?
Do you want to tell him?
think we met at Starbucks, right?
Johnny desperately seeks her approval before he continues the search for his keys.
No, silly. He always gets the story wrong. We actually officially met after we had sex. It was so powerful.
What are you talking about? We didn't have sex.
Oh, sorry. We made love.
Johnny, is this the truth?
Well, you see,
My buttercup is lying there.
not exactly.
Excellent. So he's the one you've been talking about?
Yes.
One what?
You made a fine choice.
What choice?
You really think so?
Definitely. I must admit, I'm a bit worried about the choice of liquor, but I'm sure we can fix that through the years.
Years?
Kelly, go retrieve it to your mother.
Kelly runs to the kitchen as Mr. Johnson offers Johnny the cigar before Kelly quickly returns with her mother.
What is it?
Allow me to introduce you to our new son-in-law.
What?
And Mr. Johnson dances to Johnny. He rolls off the couch, crashes to the ground in avoidance. Mr. Johnson redirects her course and jumps on top of him.
That's breathtaking news.
Mommy, when can we go pick out my dress?
Wait.
I have so many things to do. Pick the colors, order the...
Oh, okay. Ha ha. You got me. I'm being pranked, right?
Silence as Johnny pushes Mrs. Johnson off of him, stands up.
Super realistic.
What are you talking about?
We're not getting married. This is a joke, right?
You were joking when you confessed premarital relations with our buttercup?
Okay, look. This is all a huge misunderstanding. Maybe it's just best if I get my keys and go home.
But I steamed oysters just for you and our violated daughter.
And that sounds great. The oysters part, I mean, not the violation. Regardless, this is just a little bit much for me. You understand, don't you?
I understand that you don't think my oysters or my daughter are worth hanging around for anymore.
Don't be idiotic. Your oysters are fabulous.
Mrs. Johnson, teary-eyed and emotional.
I could really use a hug right now. Hold me, son.
Mrs. Johnson lunges to hug Johnny, but he dodges. She circles her prey as he hides behind the glass table.
Please, this is super cringe.
Watch your tone, boy.
Kelly moves in, arms wide open.
Why don't you just go ahead and close those puppies up too? This guy's all out of awkward right now, okay?
Johnny retreats into the glass table, knocks over the antique lamp, crash, shatters on the ground.
The lamp. No.
Sorry, I didn't mean... I can buy you a new one.
That was the only wedding gift Grandma kept after being left at the altar 70 years ago.
Blessed her baked soul.
She returned every other wedding gift, but couldn't bear to give this lamp back that her father had given her before he died.
I'm sure we can fix it. Anyone have any Gorilla Glue?
Johnny tries to pick up the lamp. It crumbles to dust.
That's it, you homewrecker. It's time you learn to appreciate the loving woman of this family.
Mr. Johnson storms upstairs.
Daddy, where are you going?
To retrieve my peacemaker.
Don't shoot this date too.
What? He shot other dates?
How many, Mommy?
I forget. Let me just grab them.
Grab who?
The other dates. What, Mr. Lampbreaker? You thought you were the only one that had Kelly on his mind tonight?
Kelly bursts into laughter as Mrs. Johnson prances to the closet, opens it, leads out man number 1 and man number 2 tied to each other, trembling and somewhat bloody, both of their faces underneath black hoods.
What? Who? Where are my keys? I need my keys.
Mrs. Johnson pulls them from her bra.
These?
Give them to me.
Stay for oysters.
You can't be serious.
Is he still down there?
Yes.
Noon? Tomorrow? Oyster party.
I would like that.
She hands him his keys and plants a huge kiss on him.
Thank you for loving my daughter.
Johnny sprints out of the house as Kelly and Mrs. Johnson give chase.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, baby boy.
Nerf gun in hand, Mr. Johnson flies in, shooting wildly.
Let me at him.
Dissolve to exterior house continuous. Johnny races to his car, gets in and speeds away as a mysterious figure reappears.
Now in the breath of a traditional chorus, this is about the time for the moral of the story.
Behind man number one, man number two, both sans hoods. Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, and Kelly drink, laugh, and pretend to shoot one another with a toy gun.
But I am not sure what the moral might be. And a story about a boy, a family, and some keys. What started with the beer ended with a kiss. What once seemed so promising has left us with this. A lesson that we should always be heeding. The advice that appearances can be deceiving.
Fade to black.
So who should we call next?
How about Marcus?
Perfect. Just load your brothers back into the closet first.
Yes, Mommy.
Fade out.
Yes, mommy. All right, good job, guys. That was cool. That was dope.
That was
Sounds like
fun.
you guys had fun with that. Let's open it up for discussion.
I wish your writer was here. I have so many questions for him.
I know.
Leave it in the recording, or you can email it to me. I guess.
Like, were the brothers in the closet, were they actually like dead people, or is it like fake? Because he had a Nerf gun, not a
I
real
got
gun.
the sense that they were just her brothers, and she was trying to trick them into thinking they were past boyfriends or something.
Yeah, it was all a trick for these guys that she had gotten together with, I think.
So
So
they're just tied up in the closet.
Yeah, I was getting you. It was all
That's what
just
I
for-
took from it. Yeah.
just for the hell of it. Yeah.
I think they were part of the prank, so they knew they were just tied up and they put like blood on them. Because he came down with a Nerf gun, so he didn't have.
Yeah, that kind of sealed the deal for me. I'm like, yeah,
So it was like having sex with him part of the prank? I don't really.
Yeah,
What's
like
that?
Mrs. Johnson.
They actually had sex, though, him and Kelly. That's how they met.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that that's what they were like calling on the people that she had gotten together with and then messing with them, like that they assumed that was going to be her husband. I could be wrong.
I think so. I think that.
I got that too. I just didn't understand why they would do that, but I think that's what they're doing too.
I wish
Because
that
he only denied it at the beginning, and then he said, well, yeah, I mean, so he didn't. George, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Well, I mean, yeah. To that, maybe as an extension of that point, I wish that depending on what type of, if this was a film or a part of some sort of series, I wish that the reveal was a little bit longer. Like you don't actually, as an audience member, fully understand what happens until the second to last line of the entire thing. And
Right.
the punch is really good, and I loved reading it, but I wish that it was drawn out like maybe just a page longer. So
Well,
could
I've said this before about other scripts. Sometimes visually, it might play longer visually. So that's definitely in the script it feels short, but
that's certainly true. I also felt like for the read, for the first read through where we weren't actually cold reading it, I thought that the middle kind of dragged on a little bit, and when we were actually performing it, I felt the opposite, and that
there you go. Yeah.
it didn't really play as long as I thought it would. So
I'm saying when you read it on your own, it felt longer, but just right now while we were performing it felt fine. Yeah.
I actually had the opposite. When I read it before, I thought it read really well. Like I started reading it and like looked for my parts, and I was like, I started reading the whole thing, and it just kept going. Like I wanted to see what was happening next. It was funny.
Yeah,
I thought the script was funny.
It's an interesting world. Yeah. It got me thinking. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Munsters. Just every
Yeah.
time they bring home a boyfriend, except they're not punking him. They're actually the real deal.
Ken had this really cool choice of like a few times I would be watching Ken, and I felt like he reminded me of Christopher Walken's character in Wedding Crashers, if you've ever seen it. And I felt like that just gave a whole nother layer to that character that I totally hadn't thought about, and it ended up playing really nicely with Candace's choices with Mrs. Johnson, because those characters have to be so heightened. And I think
Right. Mrs. Johnson was definitely like the mother in that movie.
yeah,
She was
exactly.
definitely like the mother in that movie for sure.
On those archetypes.
Yeah, they both did great. Yeah.
Hitting on, guys.
Good chemistry.
I thought for a second it was going in the direction of what's that Jordan Peele movie?
Get Out.
Yeah.
Get Out.
Get Out. I thought it felt like that for a second.
That's another.
I thought it was. I was like, is this a horror movie? Like I thought it was like a horror movie.
I think it's like a play on all those, except in this case, in all those cases, the family was fucked up, and This one. Well, I mean, I guess they're still kind of fucked up, but intentionally.
Joking.
Yeah. Once when she went to get the brownies, I'm like, they've got to be messing with him because come on. I mean,
Like they went all out, lingerie and I'm like,
the lingerie, and then they kept saying to the grandmother, like, rest, whatever, just stoned.
You guys ever seen a movie called Skeleton Key? It's a scary movie.
Called what?
Yeah.
I think so.
Skeleton Key. It's a movie about like voodoo and
I've
stuff.
heard of it. I haven't seen it. I've heard the name.
It reminded me kind of of that because in that movie it's like kind of creepy, a family, and it's about like voodoo and stuff like that. I don't want to ruin it what happens, but it reminded me a lot
Try
of
to
that.
stay away
movie.
from those movies.
Yeah. I was like 13 when I watched it. It terrified me. I don't like horror movies anymore. I stopped watching them.
Yeah.
It's only like PG-13. It still scared the hell out of me. So
man, that's what it is.
yeah.
It's all good. We're gonna take you to Halloween nights. It's okay. You'll be fine. Yeah. Anything else though, Nina? You got anything to say?
No, I thought it was. I liked seeing you guys. Like,
Thanks.
oh my god, you have such a great voice to like do, voice stuff. I don't know like how to explain it, but like you got a deep voice.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very deep, yeah.
That was great, John.